Now, there's been a lot of criticism surrounding Will Smith ever since people were pointing out specific things about his crowd seeming very suspicious. A lot of people were actually pointing out that the crowd seemed very much generated during his tour, during his concert, in an attempt to really make a comeback with his musical career as a performer. And we know one thing about Will Smith right now is that ever since 2022 with the Oscars slap situation, he pretty much lost a good chunk of his fans. Well over 50% of his fans just walked away, and are continuing to walk away, especially now, after he turned into, of course, another celebrity, making political arguments, making all these different political outrage moments that are not helping his case at all. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Will Smith right now is that we know that he is desperately going into damage control mode, especially after a lot of his own fans were pointing out very suspicious things about his crowd. Of course, a lot of this has to do with the whole generated argument, but what's interesting here has a lot more to do with Will Smith now desperately begging his fans to actually believe in him and to actually just keep following his work, to keep following his acting career, his music career, etc., etc. And this all comes in the midst of him losing millions of fans, not just from the Oscars slap situation, but also from all of the political outrage moments that he recently did. Now, what's interesting here has a lot more to do with Will Smith going at it yet again, and actually going, of course, on another tirade about how he lost a lot of fans, about how he's begging fans to come back. Now, with Will Smith already dealing with tons of backlash after attacking not just critics, but also his own fans after discussing of his crowd being generated, the slap situation from 2022 also never recovered in the long run. Now, one major development going on now involves more to do with Will Smith and how he is doing damage control yet again after losing millions of fans after displaying political arguments and blaming Trump for his failure. Will delivered the following: I don't think anyone out there realizes and knows that the sacrifices that we make as actors and performers, only to be name-called, ridiculed, and made an example of in a negative light from the American people. They have no right to act so unhinged against people like me in this business who have contributed so much to society. And honestly, it chokes me up. It makes me very depressed knowing the fact that those who were once my long, loyal fans and supporters are now walking away because of this major cultural shift against Hollywood, against creators and artists, and that includes me. And you know what? It's disheartening, especially knowing the fact that I never did anything wrong, because we are human beings after all, and we make mistakes. I made a mistake, and I deserve to be respected. So if people want to walk away, that's their choice, but it's the wrong choice, because it's an action being influenced by so many unhinged voices out there that are putting me up as the bad guy. And when you are portrayed as the bad guy, you have to call it out. You have to address, because I know I'm a good person at heart. I know I never lied to anyone. I never have done anything wrong to anybody. And I have never said anything to divide others, especially my own fans. All I deliver is the truth. And if losing fans and supporters is the result of that, it's just something I'm going to have to live with. But it's going to be a tough pill to swallow. We as Americans need to act in a more civil manner, especially against celebrities and artists that contribute so much to this world. People like to point the finger at celebrities that they are so different because of how much money they have, but they don't really realize that they also deal with many sacrifices. So I don't want to hear that weak argument anymore. Now guys, let me just stop here for one moment about Will Smith. Now, he's starting to sound like Rachel Zegler in certain areas where she too talked about how actresses and actors, they go through all these different sacrifices to make their work successful, and how regular hardworking American citizens don't go through those hardships or those sacrifices, quote unquote. That's basically the narrative that they're trying to put up there. And it's actually quite self-centered, coming from all of these self-entitled celebrities, right? Now, we know one thing about this, is that Will Smith is really trying to play the victim. He's obviously trying to, put up this mask that he's tearing all the time, that he's getting very depressed, and how he's really just caught up in a moment right now where he's realizing that so many fans are just walking away, they're calling it quits, and how he's setting up the fact that he never did anything wrong. That he never did anything wrong to anybody. Well, I guess Will Smith forgot what he did back in 2022 against Chris Rock, live on stage in front of not just people in the audience, but people watching it on their television live, of that slap situation of what he did against Chris Rock. And that's just one thing. That's just scratching the surface. He goes on to continue, but to see my base, he's talking about his fan base, but to see my base so divided and just giving up on me, just thinking about that tears me up, because I have so much to offer, whether it's in film or through music, and I'm going to do that no matter what, no matter how many people walk away. I feel it's my duty to entertain the world and to provide an escape from the terrible times that we are dealing with right now in our country. The same fans that have walked away are those putting up false narratives about my tour and my attempted return to music. So I don't know about you guys there, but I think that Will Smith is low-key saying that he's very much angry with the fact that there are fans of his own calling out suspicious visuals of his crowd, acting very generated, looking very generated in specific frames, and we talked about this. There are multiple moments in his crowd that are very obviously generated. I mean, it could not be. I'm just saying that it's very suspicious when you're looking at the overall frames there, when you're looking at the side-by-side comparisons and going back to the same exact people. It changes greatly, and I don't really know anything else to explain. But interestingly enough, he continues, and I am asking everyone right now to just cut out the noise. Don't listen to these people that are riding nothing but negative waves. It's all I ask for as an actor and as a performer, and how dare anyone question my ability to do what I do best in my career. My goal right now is to prove myself to the world. Now, the fact that he's trying to prove himself to the world and how he's admitting that just goes to show you how desperate he is to basically revitalize his career, right? And the fact that Will Smith is stooping down this low to just really getting so desperate, making all of these outbursts to the general public, to his own fans, to even the critics out there, it's not helping the case at all on whether or not his crowd was generated. It's really not helping out at all. The fact that he's getting this defensive, the fact that he's getting this worrisome about his career, about his comeback in music as a performer. And he did take a break on acting for a bit. That's why he's giving this music thing a chance for a while, until he begins Men in Black 5, which is still up for heavy negotiations over at Sony. There's a lot of drama going on over at Sony. We'll talk more about that as well. But again, the fact that Will Smith is doing this yet again, playing the victim and also playing the blame game against fans, walking away, and look, fans have every right to walk away. And the fact that he actually went that low to say people don't have a right to point out the obvious about what he's doing there and calling things out as if he's doing something wrong, when he did do multiple things wrong, one of which was the Chris Rock slap situation. He's totally discounting that. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys later.